So hello everyone, welcome to another episode of my Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind Talkthrough, where we venture across Vvardenfell and we nostalgia-gasm all over it because it's wonderful. Now, right off the bat, you may have noticed that I'm no longer running the sort of stamina tank setup and I swapped over to Magicka, and this is still not a meta setup, it's just a fun sort of conjuration build that I like playing because I wanted to try out Magicka. I've been playing stamina ever since Morrowind was added, so I wanted to try out Magicka. So I'm running a conjuration setup with the Matriarch, Clanfear. I'm also using an Atronach, and normally I would use the Maw of Infernal monster set, but the Daedroth you get from the monster set is just not really great for recording because he's very big and he spits flames all over the place, so it's not that great because he obstructs the screen a lot. But enough with the blabbering. So my original plan when I started recording this was to finally do the main questline because Morrowind is now out. It's been released on June the 6th, but I never made it past Balmora. I found a thing, then I found another thing, and then I got sidetracked by a quest, and then I realized I've been recording for 3 hours and I have to go to bed. I also saw a couple of people riding around on Dwemer spiders, which is something I definitely need to get. But anyway, I finally investigated Balmora, which is a quest that I picked up in episode 1, and it was pretty simple. I just shouted at a poor Khajiit who sent me over to another dude near a mine. Turns out the mine has been overrun by violent cultists, and some of the miners are stuck in there, so I offered my help and went in guns blazing, or, stuff blazing, I suppose. Now, the mine turned out to be sort of a small quest area. It wasn't anything too grand. It was about the size of a normal delve in the vanilla game. It even had a boss, though it did not have a sky shard. So I killed the boss, I retrieved the ritual items, which is what the dude sent me here to do, and I suppose the ritualists left, so the miners were safe. I don't really know because I didn't really notice any miners in here. And as I emerge victoriously from the mine, I've noticed another camping icon on the compass, and I thought I found another one of the crafting areas with the new set. Because I was pretty sure there was nothing in here in Morrowind, but it turned out to be the Ahemmusa camp, which is another area where you had to go to be recognized as Nerevarine. The Ahemmusa Nerevarine this time around. I think it's once again the fact that we have much better draw distance and we move a lot faster in ESO, so it seems like it's much closer than it was in Morrowind, but I don't think it actually is. Now, one really cool thing that happened here is that as I was talking to this lady over here, she recognized me. She was like, "Aren't you the dude that honored our ancestors in Aldrune?" Which is something we did in episode 3. And she gave me a quest to go to Aldrune and kind of start working with the Ashanders, which was really awesome. Now, the reason why she decided to work with an Outlander, or their tribe decided to work with Outlanders, is because they heard the Zainab tribe, which is in the camp we visited last episode, is working with Outlanders, and it's working fantastically for them. And she was like, "You know what? You already honored our ancestors, so you're alright in my book." Now, the quest you had to do for the tribe to be recognized as the Ahemmusa Nerevarine was much simpler and shorter than the one you had to do for the Zainab tribe. All you had to do was pretty much just go to a nearby Daedric ruin called Alda Daedroth, not this one by the way, this is a different one, and just, well, pretty much just kill everyone, go back to the camp, and escort the wise woman to an inner shrine. That was it. She would be like, "Alright mate, that's good enough for me. You are the Nerevarine." Now, the ruin I'm in right now is called Ashurnibibi. How do you pronounce that? Why you do this, Bethesda? You and your bloody names. This is a shrine to Malakath, who is considered one of the most evil Daedric princes, but only by the Dunmer, not the other races, just the Dark Elves. The Orsimer, for example, worship Malakath. Now, as you can see over here, this Daedric ruin is very special indeed, because you can actually go in there. I think this is the first Daedric ruin that I found on Vvardenfell that has an actual entrance, and you can go in, and there is a quest. And I was so happy to finally get into a Daedric ruin. I don't know why, but I just love exploring Daedric and Dwemer ruins. They are so weird, so outlandish, so unlike anything you see in other games. I just love them. Now, the ruin was unsurprisingly full of orcs, which makes sense because they follow Malakath, and ogrims, which are a Daedra, even though they kind of look like your generic ogre. They're just a big, dumb Daedra that serve Lord Malakath. Now, at first, I had no idea that there is a quest in here because the location wasn't even marked on the map, so I thought it was just a neat little area that you can explore and have a bit of fun in. But at the end, I encountered this door right here, which told me that I am not on that quest, which immediately piqued my interest. So I spent the next few minutes running in and around the ruin, desperately trying to find the quest, which I eventually did, and it was all the way back in Balmora. I wasn't sure if this was the right quest at first because it was really far from the Daedric ruin, but it turns out it was. And this quest right here is the reason why I never made it past Balmora. It started out simple enough: go talk to a dude whose daughter had disappeared. After a bit of talking, I was sent to follow and spy on his daughter's friends, who may know where she's hiding at, which turned out to be a pretty cool quest. Because as I was, very discreetly of course, listening to their conversation, one of them started running away with message in hand. She then put the message onto sort of a fountain where another NPC picked it up and ran into a crowd of people, where he gave it to another person, and all of them started running in different directions, and you had to follow the message, and it was just really cool. It was just the kind of quest you don't really expect in an MMO. It's something you would expect in a single-player game instead. After following the message for a little bit, I found the person who the message was sent to. This dude right here, who eventually sent me over to talk to another dude who turned out to be a Morag Tong assassin, who then sent me back into the Daedric ruin. Now, Morag Tong are an interesting bunch, to say the least, because they are assassins, but they only do official assassinations. They were created to keep the 4 great houses of Vvardenfell in check. So if someone, for example, from House Redoran would piss off someone from House Telvanni, instead of the Telvanni wizards going ham on the House Redoran, they would just get Morag Tong to assassinate them officially. And it actually works really well, because while you can get the Morag Tong to assassinate pretty much anyone, anyone can also get the Morag Tong to assassinate you. So it kind of keeps everyone in check. Because if you just start causing trouble, someone will probably get the Morag Tong to assassinate you officially. And if that happens, if someone does order the Morag Tong to assassinate you, you're just screwed, because not even the guards can stop them. They are, after all, an official organization, so the assassin will have a writ of execution with your name on it, and if a guard tries to stop him, he can just show the writ and they have to let him go. And this is actually kind of weird, but to make the assassination official, if they kill you and nobody notices, they are then expected to go to a guard, tell them that they've killed you, and show them the writ. Just to let everyone know that you weren't shanked by some random dude. It was an official Morag Tong assassination. Once I made it back to the ruin, I found a wounded Malakath champion who told me that a Morag Tong assassin had wounded him and she's going ham in the ruin. So I went in, and after a while I found the Morag Tong assassin, who was not the lady I was looking for, but she knew something about her. Once I made it to the main chamber where the statue of Malakath was located, and also the door that previously told me that I need to get a quest, I talked to the assassin again and finally went through the door. Once I went through, the assassin killed one of the orcs, and then we talked a little bit, and she told me that she will arrange a meeting with the missing daughter. So I went back to her dad and told him everything, but once I left the house, I got stopped by the original Morag Tong assassin again. And he gave me a map which led me to another map which showed me the Morag Tong sort of headquarters kind of place, where I discovered that the missing daughter has joined the Morag Tong. Isn't that lovely? I was also told to go and steal the House Redoran registry, which made me not very happy because my character is not very good at sneaking and stealing things. But luckily, since it was day 3 of the official Morrowind release, everyone in the house was dead. Well, except for this one guard who, of course, immediately saw me, so I got a little bit of bounty on my head. And this was actually kind of bad, because I had about 1,000 gold worth of stolen stuff on me, so I then had to sneak through Balmora to make it back. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just always forget to fence all the stolen stuff, so I just keep getting more and more and more. And when I then get caught, it is a sad day indeed. Now, when I made it back to the Morag Tong headquarters kind of place, I was told that the missing daughter is somewhere in the swamp outside of Balmora. So I had to sneak out of Balmora, which I did by jumping into the river, which I thought was the safest way to do it. And I did make it. I did not get caught, which was lovely. And I started searching the swamp for the missing daughter. And there she is, our lovely, deadly missing daughter. Now, she asked me for a little bit of help because her father and House Redoran are looking for her. So I helped her kill a couple of very angry Khajiits, and I met with her in a cave nearby. Once there, I told her what I found in the House Redoran registry that I stole in Balmora, and that is that her brother, who was an exemplary soldier of the House Redoran, has been stripped of his rank and has been exiled from House Redoran, which was really strange, and she didn't really understand why, because he was an exemplary soldier. Now, since there were still a lot of Khajiits looking for us, we had to escape through some tunnels, which were empty, and I'm not sure if they are supposed to be empty or if there's just a bunch of mobs in there and everyone killed them, because there were a lot of people running through here. This kind of helped, but not really, because her dad was waiting for us at the end of the tunnel. But since he didn't know that I'm actually working with his daughter rather than him, I just went down there and talked to him like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna arrange a meeting, mate. Everything's fine. While she quietly ran away. Now, she told me that she's going to a nearby Ashlander camp, so once I talked to her father, I went over to the Ashlander camp, where we found out that the camp was overrun by Warclaws, the angry Khajiits that were hunting us earlier. I talked to one of the Ashlanders, went to a mine that was in the camp, fought and killed a bunch of angry Khajiits, and at the end, I unfortunately found that Vea's brother has been killed.
Oran! Oran! Wake up, please! You can't be dead. You just can't!
Luckily though, he left behind a message that explains what happened. He protected the Ashlanders from House Rederen, which is why he was exiled, and ultimately killed by the Warclaws when he tried to defend them when they invaded the camp. And that was pretty much that. I went back to Balmora and told Councillor Eris that his son is dead, unfortunately, and Vea is safe, well, as safe as a Morag Tong assassin can be. I got a reward in the form of a Warclaw bow, and he just told me to tell Vea to be careful, that he's sorry, and that she should hide until this is all over. And that's where my journey ended that day, so I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. It got a little bit sad towards the end, but what can you do? And I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.